You need to slow down. Rest? What is that? Oh no, I have to get this done. Stop, slow down. Rest. It's time to quit. What? Slow? Stop! Rest at the crossroads.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Rest at the Crossroads. I'm excited because, I usually want to put like a calming background when we do Rest at the Crossroads. We put, some sky, some trees, some leaves. But I just want to interject that real quick to show you this thing right here. Nature's 8 workbook. I'm excited to get into this. What you have to understand is what we're talking about, what we're going deeper on Rest at the Crossroads. It's not all in here. This is a go along. This is the workbook to help you learn about whole person wellness. What's going on in your body? How do you get outside of that? How do you change cycles? All of that. It's in here. We're still in domain number 1. So I wanted to show you this because I want to help you get this book. Go ahead and look at the description. We have our email. Reach out. You can tap into our website and order the book yourself, but you want to get this. I want to get this. You need to get this. Let's get into it. We spoke about the rust inside the last time. How have you been resting? And have you been getting rid of some rust inside of your body?
You didn't say, how have I been rusting, right? You said, how have I been resting? Okay.
How have you been resting? Yeah. And have you been is it deoxidizing? No. Have you been...
I've been deoxidizing and antioxidizing and anti-rusting and resting and walking and getting in the sun. Guys, to get into our health, this is a deep well of life, the fountain of youth. And it's not just for the 10 years more that you can add on your life. You can add onto your life 10 years more by living healthy, maybe 15, maybe 20. But in the big scheme of things, it's really not that much because we're looking at centuries and eternity. But what's really the point of being healthy is creating a space in your mind and in your life that channels to other people and you eternal life. Putting yourself in the position where you think eternal life, where you think about helping others and growing in grace. That's what living this extra 10 years is about. Not just the life in this land, because there's so much pain here. No, it's about creating a life you want to live that blesses others and prepares you for eternity.
Nice, nice. So I'm glad you've been out in the sun and you've given us the reason why we want to add 10 years, but also add all types of everything to our whole person, right? Can you remind our listeners what the domains of health are in your model? I know we talked about we're in the physical domain, but remind us what all the domains are and why we are still in the physical domain.
Yeah, well, physical is huge. As a matter of fact, we can stay in all these domains a long time. And I think it's good, like all of that is a big swimming pool to just stay swimming in and just be in it and bathe in it. So we are physical beings. So we're still there. I mean, physical beings, that's our body. That's what's happening in our body. That's what we put in our body. And that's what we touch, what people see and what we feel. Like a thermometer, but we are also emotional people. That there's an emotional domain, how we feel about things and how we experience those things and what it means to us. That's our emotional domain. And then there's the mental domain, and that's how we plan and how we think about it and how we register it. And there are many things, there are processes or problem solving that we do in the mental domain. And then there is the social domain. That's who we hang out with. That's our families, that's our social structures, our churches, our schools, our jobs, and how we use our skills to enter into these spaces. And then there's the spiritual domain, which is the crux of the matter. This is the meaning of life. Where do we go when we die? How do we relate to God? What is our morality about things? What do we think about things? That is the whole person. You're not just your physical self. So when we talk about the whole person, we're talking about, hey, what did you eat for dinner last night? Well, I had pizza. I had a steak. Well, I had a salad. So what did you feel about that? Well, that steak was really good. Made me feel really good. But then I got a little constipated, What did you think about that pizza? Well, it was cool because my friends like pizza and I got to hang out with them. You see, it goes together. It's not just eating pizza or eating steak. Or what about that salad? Well, I like salad because the people I hang out with, they eat salad, and I don't want them to know that I really eat pizza on the down low. That's what it's all about, putting it together.
I do eat pizza on the down low, but it's not a secret. I mean, I should stop doing it so much, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little bit cheesy, don't it? Sometimes we get it, we get it. Sometimes I eat what they say, dirty vegan, That means I know how to eat pizza and hamburgers and French fries and all that without using meat.
Right. Let's just not make a habit of it. So our last episode was the rest inside. We talked about oxidation. We also talked about Moringa. And today we're going to continue the conversation about Moringa as a superfood. Why are you still talking about Moringa? And why do you call it a superfood? From a physical health perspective, what is in it that actually supports the body? For a recap, we did talk about this already, but if someone didn't listen before, what is in Moringa that's so helpful for us?
Right. So Moringa is nutrient dense. It means it has a lot of phyto or plant-based nutrients in it. There are proteins in Moringa. There are antioxidants in Moringa. It takes away heavy metals out of your body. It can get rid of fluoride. And I know a lot of you think that fluoride is good for you. I mean, it does something with your teeth, apparently, but it also destroys the mitochondria in the cells. You got to have mitochondria. You have 1,000 in each of your cells. So Moringa, it heals the body. It heals the body on the cell level, and it does it in such a way that a little bit goes a long way. It's a superfood. They call it them superfoods. So Moringa is a superfood. Another superfood is kale. It has a lot of antioxidants. It goes to the cell level and fights against oxidative stress. We talked about this before, but repetition deepens the impression because this is not something that people just know offhand. If I were to say Snickers bar, you could see the brown paper wrapping with the Snickers. You just know that. If I say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know that. But I am coming from an area, a road less traveled, things that you may not know offhand. So I'm going to repeat this so that one day you can repeat it and know it. That's the point of knowledge or education. Right now, when we're looking at oxidation, antioxidation, I've been saying this a lot, but it's not second nature to you yet. It's becoming second nature to me, but it's not always second nature to me. If I talk about mitochondria, I want you to say the battery in the body or the energy in the body. Without energy, we can't live. Energy comes from the sun in the body with food and oxygen that goes to the mitochondria, and that gives us energy. Without energy, you can't live. I want this to be second nature. Why? Because when you put food in your body or you do activities, if you put one of those vapes in your mouth, you know what it's doing to destroy you. Used to be people would smoke a cigarette, and there's certain places they can't smoke a cigarette, but a vape, you could just hide in your pocket. I see people do it all the time. They hide in their pocket. You might know what I'm talking about while you're listening to me, because some of you are vaping. I know that. And you put it, you suck it in your mouth, but that actually goes to destroying the mitochondria in the body, that goes to destroying the cells, that goes to increasing oxidative stress. You need an antioxidant to get rid of that. Or just take the vape out of your mouth, and now you have toxins in your body. You need something to get rid of those toxins. The body naturally has removal of toxins. There are antioxidants naturally in the cells. But if you put too much poison in your body, if you put too much oxidative stress, you need help. And that's where Moringa comes in. That's where kale comes in, or blueberries. These are superfoods. That's where they help to take out the toxins that we put in our bodies through recreation, through we're just too poor to be somewhere else, or because we just love all these sugary foods or these foods that damage the cell. So that's why I discovered Moringa and I looked it up. I saw all the research on it. Wow, this is really a superfood. This is something to help us from years of living that brought in oxidative stress that just doesn't go away. And like I said at the beginning of the program, we're not doing this just so we can get 10 extra years. We're doing this so our mind can think right about health. Health is not just about living now. I'm hoping that you want to live eternally. In order to live eternally, we've got to put our mind in the right space. Stop killing the body. If you kill the body, then you might be killing your chances for eternity. Of course, there is the thief on the right hand of Jesus, who was a thief, who lived a bad life. And he looked up to Jesus and he says, "Today, I want to be with you in paradise. Can you save me?" And Jesus saved him. Even after all that bad living, Jesus saved him. And that's okay. But some of us want to be teachers. We want to go help people to be saved. We want to help people to live a life that their children want to follow after them. And those are the people that we're asking, hey, look at what you're doing. Stop vaping. Stop using the cigarettes. Use Moringa to heal your body. Use other superfoods like kale and blueberry and blackberries and almonds and lentils. And that's what we're talking. Did I answer the question? Did I over answer the question or under? I don't know.
You always over answer the question. That's not a question. So we are going to move on. You asked me to look up chelation, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it properly, but for our listeners who have never heard this word, what is chelation in simple terms? What does it mean to chelate?
Okay. Chelation is binding of heavy metals that have found their way into your body and getting rid of them. That's what chelation is. There are some people, like when children come to the clinic, we check them for lead. If a child is exposed to lead, like in their houses, we used to use lead paint. So if children live in old houses, sometimes they eat the paint chips or lick the wall, and they are exposed to that heavy metal, lead. It goes in their body. Now, if that lead goes into the body, sometimes it causes brain damage. It causes learning disabilities, ADHD. It causes things that we're dealing with behavior, lead, okay? And so Moringa has the ability to, when ingested, to absorb that lead and bring it out of the body.
I just asked you for a simple, what is chelation? How we gonna get through the podcast if you doing all the points?
That's why she's here with me, because my brain thinks like this. And you know what? I don't even see it. When I'm up here trying to record by myself, it gets bad, y'all. She's telling me to stop.
Okay. Why is chelation important for physical health and rest? What kind of things are we exposed to in everyday life? You did talk about the lead, but is there anything else that we're exposed to in everyday life that makes chelation necessary?
Yeah. When you go to get your teeth filled, the filling material is a metal that's in your body that can leach from your teeth and go in your body. Yeah, all of us. I got plenty of it in my teeth.
I mean, I know you're not a dentist, but the question is, so a lot of dentists now are taking out the silver and they're putting, it's a white looking thing. But what I heard is it's just cosmetic. Is it still some type of metal that they're putting in there when they're taking out that other one?
Well, that I don't know. I'd have to do the research, but apparently they found that silver is something that shouldn't be in the body in those quantities. We do have minerals in our bodies.
Yeah.
But in certain quantities, they're causing oxidative stress.
Right. Okay, so how does moringa work as a natural chelator? What did you find in your research about how moringa binds to things?
Okay, so there's another important supplement that I didn't bring up, and that is fluoride. Most of us are exposed to fluoride because if you don't use fluoride in your toothpaste, it's in the water. Why? Why are they putting fluoride in the water? Fluoride, from my research, damages the mitochondria. The mitochondria is what gives your body energy. So why is fluoride going in the water? Just something that makes you say, But how does moringa bind? I'm looking at an abstract from PubMed, and this abstract shows about moringa. Heavy metals present in the environment, including lead, cadmium, and mercury, pose significant health risks to pregnant women and fetal development through food, water, and air contamination. Exposure to these metals has been linked to miscarriage, low birth weight, preterm birth, and developmental issues in children. The mechanism of oxidative stress characterized by increased whatever these chemical things are. I don't know how to pronounce them. These levels contribute to DNA damage, genomic instability, and adverse pregnancy outcomes. So the moringa is able to suck up these heavy metals because moringa is like a powder. It's so thick that when you put it in water, I think you've seen that. It just doesn't dissolve. I mean, you put sugar in water, it dissolves. But moringa, it'll sit on the top for a long time. You have to mix and mix. I take it, I put it in my blender, and then maybe it mixes. So that acts like a sponge to draw out metals out of the body and eliminate it.
So I like to research some things. And so the Center for Disease Control says that fluoride is added to public water supplies to prevent tooth decay, strengthen tooth enamel, and reduce cavities across entire communities. That is the way they're positing, what fluoride can do for us. That's also what your dentist says when you put fluoride, right? It's to protect your teeth, right? But you do one to protect, but then what is the fluoride doing to your body, right? So fluoride protects
that means
teeth by
like when I lose a tooth and I put some crazy glue on the tooth, so then I stick it back on and it stays in, right?
Not the crazy glue, 'cause that's crazy. I mean, the tooth will stick back on, but the problem is that
you got crazy glue in your body. I'm sorry.
So
I digress.
I do want to just, let people know that fluoride protects your teeth. This is what the research say. They say it hardens the enamel. Fluoride mixes with your saliva and rebuilds weak spots on the outer layer of your teeth. It fights acid. It forms a stronger shield that stops mouth bacteria from eating away at the teeth. And then it reverses early decay. It fixes minor damage before a cavity can form. Also, I want to let you guys know, because this could be the reason why they put fluoride in the water. There are some cost benefits to public health. Public water helps everyone in a town, no matter their income or access to a dentist. So what they said is, let's put fluoride in the water just in case they don't go to a dentist to get the fluoride treatment. Then we just know everybody has it. It saves money. Fixing teeth costs a lot more than adding mineral to water supply. And apparently, according to Johns Hopkins, major health groups consider community water adjustments a top achievement. So maybe in the past there wasn't fluoride in the water. I'm just saying what the research says.
Well, I get that. It really takes care of the teeth. Let me just read what the research says about the mitochondria. Now remember, mitochondria is an organelle in each of the cell. There are 1,000 mitochondria per trillions of cells in your body. And the mitochondria is the place where glucose and oxygen get together to create energy. If you want your cell phone to work, you need to have a battery, right? If you want anything to work, you need to have a battery. Without the battery, you have no energy. Without the mitochondria, your body will not work. So high levels of fluoride exposure can cause mitochondrial dysfunction by increasing oxidative stress, lowering ATP energy production, and damaging cell membranes. The buildup harms soft and hard tissues, driving inflammation and cell death in preclinical studies. Effects on cellular energy and stress. Energy drop, Fluoride inhibits respiratory chain enzymes, reducing ATP production. Oxidative stress. It lowers antioxidant defenses and raises harmful reactive oxygen species. Structural harm. It causes mitochondrial membrane depolarization and damages DNA. The brain. High fluoride is linked to neuroinflammation and cognitive deficits via mitochondrial translation flaws. Teeth and bones. Excess fluoride alters calcium signaling and energy in enamel-forming cells, leading to fluorosis. This is from the National Institutes of Health. Metabolism. Compromised cell energy in soft tissues can worsen insulin resistance and organ stress. That is dealing with the bringing on of diabetes. So I would encourage people, since you know it's in your water, you don't need extra fluoride. You don't need toothpaste with fluoride in it. Number one, stop buying toothpaste with fluoride in it. Okay. Use unfluoridated toothpaste. And number two, drink water that you buy, drinking water. Or at least if you use the tap water, you can get a water purifier to filter out some of those things. I'm not quite sure how much fluoride it filters out. But now,
That's good.
we want you to be aware. Okay?
Very good. So we know that Moringa, they use everything, the leaves, the seeds, the powder, all of it is good. Is it the leaves, the seeds, or the powder that has the chelation effect? And then can you explain the difference?
So the Moringa, yeah, there are different parts that are used. The leaf, the seeds for the oil, and then there's the bark. Now, the research that I've read on the bark is that it's not recommended to be used because it could be toxic, but there are uses for the bark that may not be to ingest. The seeds, the oil is used from the seeds and it can help to reverse liver damage. The powder comes from the leaves. So the leaf can be used as vegetable, cooked and eaten in a vegetable form, but also it can be dried as powder. And that's the one that we would generally get is the leaf in powder form. And it retains all of its nutritive effects even after it's been made into a powder.
All right, very good. So you guys, you want to go out and test this product. Now, Mom talked about before that it has a slight taste. I was raised vegan mostly. And so there are things that don't bother me as much as other people. So you want to find out how it's better for you to use the Moringa. Mom discussed before about putting it in a shake or putting it also in your food or baking with it, depending on how you want to do it. In the physical health domain of your workbook, we talk about practical uses, right? So I just want you to explain to us how people can practically use it. You know, it could be a tea. I have right now, actually, a funny story. I guess not really funny story. I'm tired. It's early in the morning. And I had mentioned that I was going to grab a cup of coffee. And this one right here guilted me into not getting that cup of coffee. So I have this matcha moringa superfood latte. It's a low caffeine coffee alternative. It does not work exactly like coffee does, but quiet as it's kept, coffee doesn't work either. But it has matcha in it, moringa leaf, and lion's mane, which is a mushroom that helps with cognition and mental focus. So like this is kind of like a substitute that you can use. But Mom, if you could just tell us some other practical ways that you could use it.
So I find that the acidity in orange juice is really good. And so you can do the same thing with lemon. The other day, I just put a couple of teaspoons in orange juice and I whipped it around. It really works with orange juice. I would recommend it if you have issues with taste. Now, like my daughter just said, we used to do golden seal. And when I first saw moringa, I said, that looks like golden seal. That's probably nasty. But if you've ever had golden seal, this tastes much better than golden seal. That's a consolation. I mean, it's much better than golden seal. Golden seal is an herb that really... You don't want to use golden seal like moringa because it's a very powerful herb. But yeah, the orange juice, you can take lemon, put it in water, spin some ginger, lemon, ginger, water, and put the moringa in there. I think that would be really good. You can take that and put some blueberries in it, and that'd be nice. If you like bananas, whip it in bananas. Moringa, the taste is pretty mild. I mean, it's pretty mild. It's got a powdery taste, a earthy taste, but it's pretty mild. Most people will probably not have issues with it unless you have issues with everything. Some people don't like eating anything except sugar. And I want to talk about sugar. People, not today, but I won't go there.
No, just
to
wait.
tell you
Just
that-
wait, Mom. I still have some points to get.
I'm
You
sorry.
can bring it up later.
It's just called comic relief. Don't worry. I wasn't going to really do it. I just was just testing her.
So a lot of people hear chelation and think of medical chelation therapy at a hospital. I had never heard of it before, so I had to look this up. How is what you're talking about using Moringa as a nutritional support different from medical chelation at the hospital?
Well, I mean, first of all, you're not going to the hospital. You are in the comfort of your own home. Generally, when you are under medical chelation therapy, that's because you got some heavy metals in your body. It's serious and it's causing serious diseases. And if you have a disease that's that serious, you still might need to go to the hospital to get that done. I'm not quite sure what substances they use and what the route they use it, whether it goes intravenous, all of that. I mean, that's something we'd have to do the research. When you're talking about doing therapies at home, you're talking about daily looking at what you're doing. When you get to the point where you have to go to the hospital to get something done, that stuff is backed up. It has not been, you've not been taking care of it. If you are impacted, your bowels are impacted so much that you have to go to the hospital to be disimpacted, that means you have not been doing something right all that time. You have not been eating fiber, been eating too much cheese or foods or white breads, and it's just getting stuck, or you're not been eating enough, whatever, too much noodles. So you have not been doing things daily. But when you say, I'm going to take a daily dose of Moringa, then that means that the heavy metals that are there, they're daily being taken out. And that's what I want us to think about, living daily, so that you don't have to go to the hospital and get these things done and go under the technology that's going to cost you hundreds and thousands of dollars to get. And they're ready for you with all the heavy technology. And praise the Lord for that. We need that sometimes. But what I'm asking you to do with adding the years to your life and adding the life to your life, or the eternal life to your temporal life, is to look at the power that you have. And that's what I'm using Moringa as a word picture to show you. It's not just about the plant. It's about what it represents. It's about what it images, about you taking control of, hey, I can eat food that can get oxidative stress off of me that I put in my body by using too much alcohol or vaping or smoking or eating too much meat or eating too much restaurant food or not exercising. We're looking at how to change what we have done in order to create a life we want to live. Moringa's like a boost. It's like, okay, try this. It's amazing to me to see that God put a tree on the earth that is medicine. The Bible says that the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nation. The Bible says in the beginning, in the book of Genesis, he gave man the herb-bearing tree. In the book of Revelation, he shows us why. It's to heal our bodies. So we have this nutrient-dense tree that has been used for thousands of years in India and is being used in malnutrition people in countries that, have not a lot of resources. Moringa is a tree of richness. So I'm just using it as a parable, or I'm trying to find that word. I need some Moringa in my brain, just to show you how God really loves you, and he's put plants on the earth to help get bad things out of your body.
Very good. I think you touched on what I was trying to get to. It's like when you talk about chelation therapy, that's like by the time it's already done. This is about whole person wellness and the little bit that you do every day, the little methods that you talk about in the book, the little things about energy and writing down what you eat and all of these things, your exercise charts, and breathing deeply and drinking water, they all go together, and it's about the whole person, right? We don't want to get to the point where, and there's nothing wrong with going to the hospital when you need it, but like Mom said, by that time, it's pretty far gone. So this is about baby steps and little things that we can do daily to kind of help us out. You talk about water a lot. And so why I want to say is rest and water so important in healing anything. Like you said, the fluoride is in our water, right? There are things all around us. We talked about how things are we're not having seeds anymore. Things are in seedless form. If you've got pollution, all of these things, there are things all around us. Why is rest and water, these things that we don't have to pay for, so important to our healing?
So my daughter and I and many other ladies, we are in a group and we are really encouraging people, one another in health. And in this journey, I have discovered sunlight and how that sunlight really helps to reset your clock so that you can rest. A lot of people are not resting because we're amped up. We're amped. We're on our computers. We have to work. Our jobs are demanding more and more, and we're just not sleeping. And we go to our bedroom and we scroll. The bedroom is actually a sacred place. The bedroom is a place to sleep and, get together with the one you love and create more people. That's what the bedroom is for. This should not be in your bedroom. The TVs in your bedroom, they should not be all those murder mysteries and all those different spirits that are coming through these things in your bedroom are really messing up the sleep-wake cycle. The sun helps to reset it. And rest is important because when you're looking at oxidative stress, you're looking at a lot of bad buddies that are breaking down the body. And the body is fighting them. The body is fighting those free radicals. And after the fight, you got dead bodies laying all around. Just think of a rumble. Think of a war. There's dead bodies laying all around in your body because there's a fight. So when you go to sleep, these scavengers come out and they get rid of the dead bodies. But if you don't sleep, those dead putrefying bodies are in your body and they're staying there and they're killing your body. So rest is very important because at rest time, your thoughts rest. You look at your day and you look at things and I said so-and-so to somebody. Now they think so. You go through all those things in your mind while your body's healing itself. Then when you wake up, you're rejuvenated. Jeremiah says, God's mercies are new every morning, not every night. Every morning we sleep. So rest is important. Water is a great solvent. It is an antioxidizing agent. When we're looking at acid-base balance, your acidity, your basic, acid leads to disease, basic leads to health. But of course, if you go too much base, that'll kill you. You go too much acid, that will kill you. Water helps to neutralize, keep you in the middle, neutralize all of those processes that happen in your body through eating, through thinking, through sleeping, through exercise. All of those body processes that have to happen is about acid-base balance. Water neutralizes. You take some lemon, you put it in your water. That's what I do. I drink lemon in my water. And so I'm fighting that oxidative stress. Now, that's an antioxidant. So water is an antioxidant. Rest is an antioxidant. Sunlight, antioxidant.
I'm putting lemon in my water.
Yeah, it goes like, see? Lemon in my water. I'm making a commercial. Would you like antioxidants in your body? Put lemon in your water. And
So to wrap up today, there's something going on. So to wrap up today, chelation is simply your body binding and removing what doesn't belong, basically, right? Moringa is a superfood that helps support the natural binding process. Water is what helps flush it out. And rest is when your body actually gets to do the repair work. That's how we get rest inside of our bodies to keep the rust out. You like that?
Rest in, rust out.
Thank you for joining us for Rest at the Crossroads in Domain 1, the physical domain. Next time, we are staying in the physical domain and we'll be talking about something that Mom was hinting at. She wants to talk about the dangers of sugar and what sugar is really doing to your body and your energy. We'll see you next time on Rest at the Crossroads.